The family that secretly rules the world. Me personally, I think he's talking about the Rockefellers, only because that's what I searched up. But we'll know when we get straight into this video.
Money, power, and influence aren't exactly
And I got my
easy
soup,
to
y'all.
come by. Believe me, it takes time, effort, and a healthy amount of under-the-table dealings to achieve these things. Or if you're lucky enough, you'll be born into a family that already has. Over the centuries, these particular families have managed to accumulate insane amounts of money, power, and influence, subsequently using it to place themselves in very convenient and important parts of society. These families are so powerful, they've basically won the economic game and done a tiny bit of shaping society to their whims. These are some of the most powerful families in the world. Rothschild family. If you know anything about conspiracy theories, then you've certainly heard about the Rothschilds, from the wildest to the most plausible. One way or the other,
Wait a minute, so it's families. Oh shit. Oh, that kind of makes sense though. Like, they probably got like their own community thing going on. And if you think this isn't real, then you... Come on now. Like, there's obviously people that are in control over certain things. It's the simple fact that we have a workforce. Who built that? Who decided that? And then the way it's built, it's like... I don't know. I just feel like there's certain things that are just in our face in plain sight. But that's just me, though. I don't know about y'all.
Rothschilds had something to do with it. I mean, if the first page of Google is to be believed, the Rothschilds have done everything from controlling every central bank in the world to even controlling...
Like, come on now. You can't tell me that's not no evil villain mastermind type junk. Like, every bank in the world, my guy. Like, what?
The weather, with an insane combined net
And the
worth
weather.
of $400 billion. Who are the Rothschilds really? Alien emissaries? Or just some incredibly rich people? Well, what they are is an international banking and finance dynasty of German descent. They rose to international prominence in the early 18th century and
That's
subsequently
crazy.
established operations all across Europe. They were even elevated to nobility by the Austrian government. So yes, they are just incredibly wealthy.
They're
But
noble.
you probably guessed that. The Rothschilds' historical rise to power started with Meyer Rothschild, whose keen talent for finance eventually led him to become a prominent member of the global banking industry and installed his 5 sons in the financial capitals of Europe. They successfully adapted to the Industrial Revolution during a rise in economic growth throughout Europe, landing themselves an oligopolistic position in the world trade of oil and metals. The Rothschilds
That's why they
were
have so
powerful-
much money, bro. They're in literally the trade of oil and metal, bro. We're always going to need oil and we're always going to need metal, which means they're always going to make money. Bro, they hit the lottery on that. What the hell?
They could loan money to entire countries. Their
Literally.
clientele wasn't your everyday wealthy lord. No, they were out there loaning billions to entire governments. In 1825, they
That's a lot
supplied
of power.
enough coin to the Bank of England to avert a market liquidity crisis. They granted loans to France after its defeat by Prussia, and they granted a £4 million loan to the British government after just being asked a few hours prior. They were, simply put, just rolling in that money. These days,
That's
the family has
crazy.
taken a more low-key approach to being a financial superpower, while spending their wealth by donating vast quantities of art to charity and generally avoiding conspicuous displays of wealth, especially after their surrealist party back in the 70s.
Yo! That's how they would throw their parties? Y'all think Diddy parties wild. Imagine going to one of these. Like, look at what the fuck they're wearing. Holy moly. Holy moly. Wow.
Forever. The Rothschild family are without...
And then you don't find it weird? Why are they trying to be low-key now when before they would flaunt? I wonder what happened. Like, what changed when they were like, oh yeah, we're no longer like showcasing that we got all this money. Like, we're gonna pipe down. Like,
Without a doubt, extremely powerful, influential, and cloaked in mystery. Hence all the conspiracy theories. But whether or not they're responsible for the assassination of JFK or are fighting against climate change is for the conspiracy theorists to decide. The Windsor family. quite possibly one of the most popular and most influential groups of royals in the entire world, with family branches that have stretched all across Europe and influence that quite literally stretches the entire globe. If that doesn't make you want to find your own Windsor heir to marry, wait till you find out just how wealthy the latest generation of British royalty is. Prince William and Kate Middleton's 3 kids, George, Charlotte, and Louis, aren't just living a life of unparalleled luxury, they're making bank too. Prince George is already worth $2.8 billion, and his sister Charlotte is worth $4.3 billion. They're all...
What the fuck? They putting price tags on kids? I'm sorry. At first, I was going to be amazed by how much the kids cost, but then I realized that they're putting price tags on children. Holy moly. But, they
already making 10 digits, and neither of them is 10. Simply mind.
Neither of them is
the
10.
Windsors aren't just sitting at the top of a country with a GDP of $2.7 trillion. Their influence spreads far beyond Scotland, Northern Ireland, Wales, and England, reaching every continent on Earth. Yes, including Antarctica. Some of these countries include the South Pacific island of Tanna, where the Duke of Edinburgh was considered a literal god, and Canada, where the portrait of Queen Elizabeth is featured on their $20 bill. That might sound a little strange to you, but did you know Queen Elizabeth technically owns 1/6 of the Earth's land? Of course she's gonna show up on a few bills. The Queen...
Yo! What the f... Yo! Did she inherit that, or she bought it all?
is technically the largest landlord in the entire world, owning more than 6 billion acres of land, and is technically the head of state of 16 countries. These countries are part of what's known as the Commonwealth realm.
R.I.P. to her though. She's no longer with us.
World, like Australia, New Zealand, and Canada, which would technically make the Windsor family worth an estimated $25 trillion.
But she's a smart woman, an intelligent
the Windsors might be running a constitutional monarchy these days, but that doesn't diminish just how influential they are. I mean, people have actual tattoos of the royal family on them. I'm talking about permanent drawings of Queen Elizabeth on their bodies. You can only wish you were that popular. And what's popularity if you can't back it up with ridiculous amounts of wealth? The Windsors sure can. They own several castles, mansions, and estates, all of which are incredibly expensive, and they didn't even need to buy most of them. There's also the Royal Collection, an art collection owned by the British royal family, which is one of the largest art collections in the world, with over 7,000 paintings, 40,000 watercolors and drawings, and about 150,000 old master prints. They've got historical photographs, tapestries, and the crown jewels worth $4 billion. Pretty much everything you could consider art can be found in this collection. Some of the Windsor's luxurious royal holdings include Kensington Palace, which has an estimated worth of $630 million. And
what's so special about that place? I don't know. I'm not hip.
Buckingham Palace, which is worth $4.9
I heard of Buckingham Palace.
$1 billion.
I heard of it.
One of the most expensive and popular buildings in the world.
Okay, yeah, that's why I'm like, I've heard of that building.
Koch family. What do you get?
Did he just say Koch family? Is the K silent? Let's run that back.
World, and they just casually live in it. Koch family. What do you get when you mix oil money, time, and a healthy bit of generational wealth? Well, you get the Koch family, a dynasty of oil billionaires that have shaped both the economic and political landscape of the United States. With a current net worth of $100 billion, the Koch family started their rise to power with a company that had a mouthful for a name. It was originally called the Wood River Oil and Refining Company, until it was thankfully renamed to Koch Industries in honor of Fred Koch, one of its earliest members. It was run by his 2 sons, David and Charles Koch, affectionately referred to as the Koch brothers, after which millions upon millions of Coca-Cola jokes were made. That is until David passed away in 2018 at the age of 79. Now, to give you an idea of why the Koch family is on this list, please note, Koch Industries is currently the 2nd largest privately owned company in the United States, and currently the 6th
privately owned. Not whoever, they just told you the Koch bros. They raking in bank. Privately owned. That means they got private investors. Ooh, that's crazy though. I know they're raking in that dough. He's over worth 100 billion. So
largest in the entire world, raking in a yearly revenue.
And you know what's crazy is I actually think I've seen that sign before. Like that actually kind of looks familiar. 115 billion is I think the company's net worth.
$115 billion. Oh, the Coke Industries isn't just rich, it's prolific as well. They've acquired so many companies and have so many subsidiaries. They effectively do everything now. And I'm not even exaggerating. These acquisitions were incredibly smart as well. Some of them...
How are they even allowed to do that? Not to be that person, but aren't they starting a monopoly? And I thought you weren't supposed to have, like, certain companies can't buy out other companies. Like, there has to be, like, a certain type of balance. That there wasn't supposed to be as a monopoly. Like, isn't the government supposed to step in or some shit? I don't know. Okay.
$0.5 billion purchase of Georgia Pacific, one of the world's largest manufacturers and distributors of paper. They provide a wide variety of household products under popular names like Brawny, Angelsoft, and Vanity Fair. They also spent $7.5 billion to purchase Molex, an electronic components manufacturer, and they work with the National Guard of the United States as well. That's paper, electricity, and protection. Whatever kind of apocalypse is coming, the Koch family is ready. Not only are they wealthy, they also invest a non-significant amount of their wealth into making sure the political landscape of the country is exactly the way they want it. It turns out, you don't have to be royalty, or hold any political office for that matter, to get a few politicians to speak your language. If there's one thing the Koch family is really passionate about though, it's real estate. They purchased a multi-billion-dollar, 63-story, 4,000-unit hotel and casino on the Las Vegas Strip, and that was just the start. They plan to buy more hotels and hospitality assets. At this point, they're just trying to fill a bingo card of industries they can take over, I think. The Walton family. Here's a family so powerful, they have an insane net worth of $169.7 billion.
But they're also old.
A corporation so massive, it has a net worth larger than some countries' GDP. Yet
Holy
nobody really
moly.
talks about them. You know what a Walmart is? I know what a Walmart is. We've all seen the memes. But did you know that there are approximately 10,500 Walmart stores in 24 countries worldwide, which employ about 2.2 million people? Well, I certainly didn't. Walmart was founded by Sam Walton in 1962. Over the years, it eventually grew into the world's largest company by revenue, earning over $540 billion. Consequently, turning the Waltons into the richest family in the United States. Let me tell you.
This man got rich because he created Walmart? This is who created Walmart? And was Walmart created after Target? Because Walmart, to me, is Target, but a little cheaper. And it comes with, like, different options, you know what I mean? But, like, you go to Walmart when you don't want to spend Target's prices. You know? I know we all know that. So, like, did he come up with that idea after Target was made? Like, which one came first?
Walmart is so powerful, its very existence in a community is enough to destroy whatever competition stands in its way. If a Walmart opens up in a small town, about half its retail trade will be gone in a few years, felled at the feet of this retail giant. Naturally, Walmart's customer size is frankly ridiculous. Thanks to its low prices and wide range of products, it appeals to virtually everybody, and serves approximately 220...
Yo! Walmart is the Amazon is the Amazon. You know how, like, Amazon's, like, the companies, like, for Nike and all those? Fucking Walmart, y'all? Walmart's like Amazon. That literally just clicked in my head. That's why Walmart never going out of business. It got everything. You name it, it got it. It's just sometimes it'd be sold out. I'm not gonna lie, you know, and it'd be like, Target come first. No, Target costs. This is what I'm trying to say, bro. You go to Target if you have the money and you want to spend the money and you want decent quality. You know what I mean? Maybe even good quality depending on what you're buying. You know, you go to Walmart when you're like, okay, you're going on a vacation and you don't care if you bring the bathing suit back or not. You know what I mean? Like, you go to Target when you're like, oh, no, this is my bathing suit I'm going to wear for the next couple of years type shit. Like, I feel like it's like that. people in the hood be calling it Tarjay. Like, to like, make it more fancy. But,
million customers every week. The Waltons have had more than one successful venture, though. You don't get over $100 billion by being a one-trick pony, after all. One of these ventures was known as Sam's Club, a chain of warehouse clubs that sold groceries and general merchandise.
I think I've seen that.
It operated 600 warehouses and raked in profits up to $57 billion. Even their charitable foundations are a hit. The Walton Family Foundation has managed to take on environmental issues and education, spending $1 billion on the latter. The Waltons have
Holy
used their vast wealth
shoot.
to dabble in
Talk about investing in a mother trucking business. Man put $1 billion into just one. I thought spending a couple $100,000 was a force. He literally dropped $1 billion on a
bit of politics as well. The political leanings of the Waltons aren't exactly one note, though. Different heirs to the Walmart throne have paid large sums of money to different sides of the political aisle, trying their darndest to influence policies, like a really boring season of The West Wing. Morgan family.
That's crazy.
This family's rise to international
I think I heard of this family.
started in the late 19th century, with perhaps the most famous Morgan of them all, John Pierpont Morgan. That guy and all the...
Wait, is this the person that created Morgan? Never mind, I'm gonna just shut up. I'm gonna let this go, because what I was about to say was dumb. Oh.
Documentaries about early industrializing America. Born to be a banker, J.P. Morgan would follow
Are you
in his
born to be a
father's
banker?
footsteps
Congrats,
and get
though.
embroiled in the financial sector, becoming one of the most famous bankers in the world.
Oh, for
Eventually
real?
immortalized by one of the most powerful financial institutions in the United States, J.P. Morgan and Company. J.P.
I knew it. Okay. I was going to say that company, so I'm so glad. I was going to guess that because I was like, is his name Morgan? They're talking about companies. Okay, so I thought it was JP Morgan. Okay, I'm glad. Okay.
Morgan didn't build the first billion-dollar company by banking alone, though. In the late 1890s, he turned his attention to the steel industry. He developed an alliance with the president of Carnegie Steel and purchased the company for $480 million, an amount which, at the time, was more than the U.S. federal government's entire budget. You gotta spend money to make money, and boy did he make money. In 1901, J.P. Morgan merged his steel companies and established U.S. Steel, a company worth $1.4 billion, placing him not
That's
only
crazy.
at the top of the banking industry,
That's crazy.
but the railroad industry as well.
Man's
he also
genius.
controlled 60% of the steel industry too, for good measure. Not to mention the fact that he sat at the board of directors for 48 different companies. This obviously granted the Morgan family immense political and economic...
How did he... Whoa! How was he able to sit on a board of directors for 48 different companies? How did he pull that off? What? Yo.
sway around the world.
Yo.
J.P. Morgan was part of several
that was a
illustrious
scary-ass
social
photo.
clubs where he would meet and rub shoulders with some of the most powerful men in society. He even founded his own club and called it the Metropolitan Club, which had powerful members in it, including the likes of fellow billionaire Cornelius Vanderbilt. Morgan managed to achieve such
Supposedly, the Vanderbilt family was rich before the Rockefellers.
wealth and influence by being an incredibly savvy and honest businessman. And just kidding, he was the very definition of cutthroat. He bullied, outcompeted, or straight up bought out any competitors. After J.P. Morgan's death in 1913, he left behind what would eventually become the largest bank in the United States, with assets worth $3.7 trillion. It has acquired so many banks over its lifespan that J.P. Morgan & Chase is officially the largest bank in the world by market capitalization. What else could you possibly expect from a family powerful enough to control the U.S. gold supply and organize a syndicate of bankers to stabilize the economy of a whole country? Which family do you think is the...
So, yeah, I was going to ask the same question he was about to ask. What family do you think is the most powerful? By the way he explained everything, you would think that the last family he just explained would be the most powerful because they're the most wealthiest. But I would say it really just has to depend on, like, what job or, like, what kind of company that they have. The reason why I would say the last one is I could see as one up or the most powerful is because it controls everything.